guys, Sean and Christy Michael of Long Long Honeymoon here. Hashtag Loloho. With another episode of our little chat show we like to call the Loloho Show. This is where I get to quote Mark Twain and say, the reports of our death are greatly exaggerated. We've been gone for a while, but we've been on a really remarkable European, North African walkabout.
That's right. We've been to Spain, Portugal, Morocco, France, Germany, England.
On our little adventure, we stayed in hotels, we stayed in apartments, we stayed in tents, we slept on trains.
We slept on boats.
And a highlight was our time in an Airstream travel trailer in Germany.
That's right. We found an Airstream to camp in while we were in Europe.
Now at this point, some of you out there are probably saying, Sean, what the heck does international travel have to do with Airstream camping? Well, my friends, it has everything to do with Airstream camping. In fact, Airstream has always been about international travel. If you go back and look in your history books, you'll discover that the founder of Airstream, Wally Byam, once led Airstream caravans around the world. He led an Airstream caravan from Cape Town, South Africa, all the way up to Cairo, Egypt. He took caravans through Mexico into Central America, and he also traveled around Europe. And what's amazing is Wally was doing this 50 years ago. You know, it's kind of like our space program. 50 years ago, we were going to the moon. Today, we're lucky if we can shoot a bottle rocket. Our host was Armin Hoyne, who is the managing director of Airstream Germany.
He's the greatest guy. He's got the greatest personality. He's really fun. He's always laughing and smiling. And
he's an Airstream owner himself.
That's right. So he's somebody that really gets it. He's not just selling a product, he's using it. And I think that makes all the difference.
Yeah, Armin definitely walks the talk, as we say. He travels with his own Airstream, and we can verify this because we camped right next to him. So in this episode, we're going to talk about our experiences Airstream camping in Germany, and specifically, we're going to talk about the differences between European Airstreams and American Airstream. So we're sitting here next to the river. Something that really impressed me when we first entered our Airstream and really kind of settled in for the night. It's probably the most instantly comfortable accommodations we've had in all of Europe. When we step inside an Airstream, it immediately kind of feels like home, even though we are in Germany.
Airstream Germany has a parent company.
It's called Rokewerk.
And the parent company builds custom food trucks. They build their own sort of square box trailers that they customize color and all that sort of stuff, but they also build Airstream ones. And so they get those shells and everything from Airstream, and that's sort of how I think they got started with selling the recreational campers.
So what's fascinating about Airstream in Europe, they offer unique Airstream products that have been beautifully designed for that market.
But this is nice. It feels very open. I want to see what this is. So a little extra counter space there, or a little desk you could work out from bed maybe. The interesting thing about Airstreams in Europe, they're lighter weight and they're smaller in size.
And so they're easier to tow.
So they're easier to tow. They're more narrow than the campers that we have here in the US, but you don't really feel it when you're inside because they've done a wonderful job with the design. The Airstream that we were in was sort of the Mac Daddy model. It was the 684. And it was roughly equivalent, I believe, in length to like a 26, 27 foot here in the US. And it was a great floor plan. We really loved it.
This Airstream is actually equipped with an external shower, which we haven't used because we don't typically shower in public. But if you're an exhibitionist,
the European Airstreams are equipped with a number of nice amenities. I mean, for example, the step is a power step. Push a button, boom, step comes out.
Their Airstreams aren't as high off the ground as ours, so they don't have to have two steps that come out. It's just a single step. So that probably makes it a little easier for it to be electric.
A metal threshold at the doorway.
So you just
Oh yeah.
Close it.
You don't have that.
No.
Push it up to lock it, yeah.
Okay.
And it has insect protection.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And also it has, of course, what do you call that? Shade.
Shade.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The main control panel that monitors all of the water levels and the battery power levels and that sort of thing was a very sleek, fully integrated unit.
It's very high tech, it's very precise, whereas ours is like some green and red and yellow bars that you sort of just have to guess on.
Note the soft close drawers. All these surfaces are curved and smooth, whereas we have hard corners in our Airstream. The other thing that's kind of fascinating to me is the radiator system. There is a full European-style water radiator that runs the perimeter of the trailer, and you could even get it under the floor.
Yeah. All around the trailer, it's water-carrying radiators. So we make central warm water and we pump it through radiators, so it's no blowing air, silent, and it's indirect heat going up and circling by itself. Well, the reason is there's not too many sites like Texas here in Europe. So
Right.
typically we have to heat. If you feel it's getting cold at night time, you just increase the temperature here. It's just choose the temperature you want.
Instead of having a couch and a dinette, they had one big combo unit. So it was sort of like a big U-shaped dinette sofa area. Really spacious seating, very comfortable plush leather seating. And then the dining table in the center, you could move around. Like it didn't just have to stay right in the middle. You could slide it to one side so it would be closer to one person than the other. And that table also raised and lowered.
This can actually go down, of course, for making another 2 people sleep here.
Oh,
Right.
for a bed.
So that sleeps 4, actually.
Look at all this counter space. It's so nice. Look at that. All the counter space. And it has this big sink, which is really nice.
Fresh water is contained in a rather small, by American standards, freshwater tank, which is under the couch. It's not on the exterior of the trailer, it's actually inside the trailer beneath the couch. And I believe it holds around 10 gallons.
I think so.
Don't quote us on those numbers, but approximately 10 gallons. And then there's more fresh water you can store outside the Airstream in this ingenious little device called an AquaRoll. The AquaRoll is designed and sold in the UK, and they're starting to sell them more internationally. It's basically a jerry can that is circular and will roll like a wheel. So the AquaRoll is really easy to move around a campground even when it's full of water and is quite heavy. It's actually a brilliant design, and we were thinking for boondocking in the United States, an AquaRoll would come in very handy.
And they actually use a little adapter that plugs in to the outside of the camper and has a little hose that goes in down into the AquaRoll, and that sucks the water out of the AquaRoll and into the camper. Just like if you were hooked up, I guess, to city water, maybe.
Right.
You know, that same sort of input.
So there's a water pump that is on pretty much all the time, and it was actually quite a quiet water
Yeah,
pump
very quiet.
compared to our own water pump. And when dirty gray water would go into a gray water tank, the gray water tank is external and removable.
Just sort of something you sort of store underneath the Airstream and have a hose that connects down to it.
But it's kind of like one of those things you see in the United States that people use to dispose of gray water from time to time. It's got wheels on it, and
A handle.
when it's time to empty the gray water, you just roll it to the restroom and you dump it there. And then the coup de grace, of course, is the black water, which, since there's no black water tank, everything's contained in what is called the cassette toilet.
Nothing looks different. The toilet looks just like a toilet that you would see in a US, made Airstream. But the difference is it's emptying into a little cassette. Just a plastic square box that's stored underneath, and to empty it.
All right, so Christy's feeling very brave, and she is going for the cassette toilet empty procedure. So you pop open this little storage compartment, and out comes the contents of the cassette toilet. And you know what would be fun would be to bring this with you as carry-on luggage at the airport and have them check that with airport security. This has Fiasco written all over it.
There it goes.
It's blue. I'm tempted to crack a blueberry joke, but
It doesn't have a smell at all. I did it at least twice by myself without Sean around, and it was super easy to do. I mean, no hassle. It was probably cleaner than the hose that you use when you empty,
The stinky slinky.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You use the same little chemical that you use in your big tank. So, you know, the 2 times that I emptied it, the water was basically turquoise.
Now you probably didn't want to go
chemical-smelling water.
swimming in it or anything,
No. But there wasn't really much of a smell. I thought I was going to be completely repulsed, and I wasn't. You pick up dog poo or you change a baby's diaper, that's way more involved than this was, I think.
Good point. And one thing I really kind of admire about the cassette toilet is you can empty it anywhere you can find a restroom. You don't need to find a dump station. The way Armin explained it, the philosophy is that this is a task you'll take care of probably once a day. That basically you'll go get fresh water and you'll empty your gray and black once a day. But he just said, you know, it's not that big a deal. I mean, like for 2 people, this seems to be a pretty effective system. Another interesting build characteristic of these European Airstreams is they don't have a belly pan, which, you know, pretty much every Airstream in the United States has a so-called belly pan that kind of protects the undercarriage. But obviously there are no external water tanks that need protection. So eliminating the belly pan reduces weight while also eliminating a component that is prone to rust.
And he said it also makes it easier for them to access things that they need to work on. Electrical and the gas lines and that sort of thing. So
the way all this works is the European Airstreams are built right alongside American Airstreams in Jackson Center, Ohio, and the completed units are shipped out to Europe. So the trailers are made in the USA. If you saw one of these European Airstreams from a distance, you wouldn't see any difference, you know, from American Airstreams. But
No.
when you start getting involved with them, you realize that every little element has been thoughtfully chosen and designed for that market.
Armin was kind enough to do a barbecue for us one night and invited some of his friends and a couple of work colleagues. And
The Germans brought the barbecue meat, including some wild boar,
Yeah, it was
apparently.
really
It was
good.
really good. And the Americans attempted to create s'mores in Germany.
so you put a graham cracker and then a piece of chocolate and then a grilled marshmallow on top of it. So we found marshmallows and we couldn't find graham crackers. They don't have graham crackers there. So we bought kind of these cookie crackers, kind of like butter cookies, I guess, that had a layer of chocolate on top. And
Turned out our marshmallows had some kind of like
they
coconut
tasted
flavor.
like coconuts, but they were supposedly American marshmallows. That's what the bag said and everything.
Yeah.
But they weren't really.
We kind of created our own version of s'mores, and I think our German friends were very good-natured in the way that they
It
tasted
didn't
them.
taste bad. It just didn't, we knew that it was supposed to taste differently than it did.
You know, here in the States and in the South, we sometimes talk about Southern hospitality. We got a strong dose of German hospitality because we had just a wonderful experience, a lot of great schnitzel,
Yes.
great German brew,
Yeah.
and just great friendships that we made while we were there. So
Yeah, we hope that one day Armin comes to visit us and we can return the favor.
that's right. So thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Loloho Show. We're back and we're shooting videos. So stay tuned for the next episode. Subscribe if you want to be notified of future videos.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page and like it. You'll get to see some photos and some insider stuff that doesn't always get posted on our website.
And post a comment if you have any kind of question or topic you want to hear us discuss here on our little chat show. Thanks, guys. Loloho.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. Feel free to leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.
Mm.
You know, if you're not the lead camel, the view never changes.